So I want to make this video to help people understand a little bit about what's going on right now. And I know that plenty of people won't agree with what I have to say, and that's fine. I know that I may be ostracized for making this video, and that too is fine. You don't have to agree with me, and I'm not saying I'm right about everything and that I know everything, but I do know that there's a lot that's going on right now that people just don't understand. A lot of things that don't make sense. So I'm going to read something I wrote yesterday. You can do with it whatever you like. I call it a time to dream. So the time has come for me to put thoughts to paper. It is my hope that you might find comfort, inspiration, and a renewed sense of hope in the words that follow. Many today do not know what to believe about the current state of the world that we find ourselves living in. Riots, looters, protesters, epidemics, vaccines, lockdowns, police defunding, the list goes on and on. If you tune into the television programming, you'll find many reasons to fear. Fear your neighbor, fear the virus, fear economic collapse, fear for your job, for your home, for your children. I want to give you a reason to smile and take heart, for all is not lost, not even close. As I write this, there is a great change taking place. I'm not referring to the negative issues listed above. What I speak of is a shift that is taking place across the planet. We are moving into a time of unprecedented freedom, wealth, and prosperity. With the changes that are taking place largely outside of the public view, we are being freed from the bonds that have bound us for so long. Now is the time to reflect on your dreams, your ambitions, the longing of your soul. I liken these times to the birthing of a child. We are in the throes of labor as we speak. With everything in life, there is a balance. For a beautiful baby to see the light of the world, there must be the pains of labor. All the same, when that new life has passed through the darkness, it breaks into the light, and the process of life is renewed again. This can be likened to more than just current events. It is much the same process when one awakens to the truth of what is now happening. When I began to awaken, I experienced a profound sense of bliss for a time. With this came an overwhelming, unexplainable urge to study and research. I had to know the truth of things, but I did not know why at the time, and now I do. As I began to study, my sense of bliss faded, and I became troubled by what I discovered. I won't get into too much of that here, but I'm happy to speak with anyone who questions. I will not entertain arguments, but welcome those who wonder to speak up, just as I'm doing now. If those who question the narrative given by mainstream media do not speak up out of fear of ridicule or other reasons, you may keep others from waking up to the reality we live in. Suffice it to say, I found that our country and most of the earth has been infiltrated from within the governmental systems by a wicked group of people. These people take part in unspeakable acts against humanity itself. They have no regard for human life and hold nothing sacred. I understand this likely makes little sense, but keep listening. Have you felt the change over the past couple of decades? Have you felt a gnawing sense of unrest that something is out of place but you can't quite put your finger on it? I have, and I've spent the past 2 years trying to figure that out. My wife surely thought I was losing it, but she stood by me. My sister and my brothers were always there as well. I passed through the darkness of learning what is happening in our world, and they all walked with me. Thank you for that. We all have a journey to take, and I'm lucky that mine included you all. Firstly, understand that things are not what they seem. Most things are truly upside down and backwards. Many things purported to be good are actually quite evil, and vice versa. As an example, Planned Parenthood and Family and Children Services are both at the surface interested in helping and protecting families and children, but are in fact below the surface involved in child trafficking and other crimes against humanity. This is disturbing, but it hardly scratches the surface. The good news is that things like this are on their way out. Humanity is waking up. As more people learn the truth, the process accelerates. One of the main obstacles of this is comfort. When people are comfortable in the perpetual cycle of eat, sleep, work, repeat, there is little motivation for anything else. When one begins to seek and doesn't give up, things begin to change. I am not the same person I was 2 years ago because I began to seek. Knock and it shall be opened. Seek and you will find. This is truth, but it's up to you what you do with it. At the end of the day, it's a choice to know. You can choose truth and the finding of it, or you can choose comfort. For the truth at times is uncomfortable. Nonetheless, it is necessary and inevitable. Please understand that without question, what you see on television is not the truth. It is part truth with a spin on it to portray a particular narrative. A portion of it is entirely untrue. Television is in fact a CIA operation, with many of the former and current news anchors being CIA operatives. Research this before you assume I'm a conspiracy theorist. You will find that many of the staff members of these news networks are married to or otherwise tied to members in the CIA and other governmental agencies. Believe nothing I tell you. Instead, try to disprove it. I will list some sources for real news and some research topics that might be of interest at the end of this. Since the advent of television, the school system, religion, and other wonderful things, there has been an agenda to blind us all to the truth. Let's break down television. Tell a vision. It does exactly that. It tells you a vision, and who are you to question it? If you look at the name of things, it's right in your face. When you flip on the television, you look for a program to watch. Why would they call it programming? Because our subconscious minds are programmed by seeing these things? This happens without us knowing it. On many mornings, all mainstream news stations broadcast the same scripted narrative to all of us across the nation, and they make sure to remind us that they stand for integrity and honesty. I have not found this to be the case. While many of us don't realize what is happening with respect to the coronavirus and the riots, etc., there is a plan that is being carried out. The things I just mentioned are all part of that plan. Let me explain what a false flag is. It is an event that is meant to distract or cover something up. For example, COVID-19 was a long-planned event that was designed to strip the rights of the people, instill fear, weaken our immune systems, turn us against each other, and ultimately depopulate the earth. If you compare the admittedly skewed statistics from the CDC to the seasonal flu numbers, you will see that COVID is actually fairly benign. Many of us likely had it and didn't even know it. Another example is the riots, just another false flag to distract the people and halt the efforts of the current president. The truth about the riots is that they were largely staged by paid crisis actors and Antifa. The Black Lives Matter movement may have once meant well, but now it too has been compromised by Antifa and others. Antifa is funded largely by George Soros and his children. Many such groups are funded by them with the sole purpose of causing unrest and division among the people. They call us racist, but they are promoting racism. I seek unity among the people. The color that we were given by our Creator has nothing to do with that. One of my closest friends is a black man, but we are brothers regardless of the amount of melanin in our skin. I will never apologize for being white, or male, or American, or anything of the sort. I'm proud to be all of these things. A man's character is what matters. And I will never kneel to a mob bent on destruction of America. So why the false flags? Why now? We have an election in November that will decide our fate, so to speak. In my opinion, it is already won by the proper candidate. Good prevails in the end. The opposition, deep state, cabal, elites, will do whatever they can to prevent 4 more years of the current POTUS. They know that this will spell the end to their 16-year plan. Barack Obama, aka Barry Soetoro, and his wife, Michelle, aka Michael LaVaughn Robinson, actually a man most likely, were to carry out the first 8 years of the plan, with Hillary Clinton completing the following 8 years. Obama successfully fired many patriotic members of government and hired many corrupt people to replace them. For it is easier to take over a country through infiltration from within than a direct takedown. He also weakened our military, made several corrupt deals with foreign leaders, illegally spied on the incoming president, and shortly after leaving office began building a shadow government and training a militant force to take our country by force. I believe that we have not yet seen the worst of these false flags. When or if this opposing militant force is made known, we may have another war between the states. If you notice, the bulk of the states that were hotspots for COVID are now seeing riots and looters, and the states. If you notice, the bulk of the states that were hotspots for COVID and are now seeing riots and looters are the states with Democratic deep state governors. The cities are almost always those with Democratic mayors that are in the pocket of the deep state elite. By now, you may think I'm crazy, but again, please research. I assure you, I will get to the part about renewed hope and living out your dreams. I feel that these false flags will likely continue until the election or very close to it. It is my opinion we will soon see a resurgence in COVID as the president plans to begin holding rallies again. The resurgence will be blamed on the protesters that gathered en masse to protest the death of George Floyd. Truth is, most likely, George Floyd was a convicted criminal and crisis actor. He is almost certainly not dead and will be shown to the people at some point in the near future. Given the fact that the combination of hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, and zinc successfully treats COVID and many other things, the second round of the virus should not last long. When that fails, I believe we will see a shortage of goods. I've already seen the signs of this happening now. There may be an attempt to create panic over the perceived shortage of food, necessities, firearms, and other things. When this fails, there will be some other means of instilling fear in the people on a mass scale. I heard this morning that genetically modified mosquitoes were being released in Texas and Florida. They're desperate at this point. They will do anything they can to keep us fearful. By keeping the people in a constant state of fear, lack, stress, etc., it keeps our collective vibration and consciousness in a lowered state. We were made to live in abundance with peace, prosperity, and love. We will soon experience this after the necessary things come to pass. We are living in historic times. Our earth is about to be changed. We are about to be changed. Instead of working your life away just to get by, you will be able to pursue your passions. Instead of raping and pillaging our earth and filling her with chemicals and waste, we will be stewards of the earth once again, caring for and rebuilding what has been lost. We were all created to be in intimate connection with Mother Earth, to walk barefooted upon her, to live in sync vibrationally, and to take care of the earth as she takes care of us. We all have dreams that lie waiting to be realized. We all have souls that long for something more. Now is the time to dream, to imagine, and to hope. Soon, we will be delivered from the subtle oppression we have lived under without fully realizing its weight. But when that weight is lifted, we will truly be free. Free from debt, free from worry, free from fear, and free to live the life so many of us have dreamed of. A life of peace, prosperity, justice, freedom, equality, and opportunity for all, regardless of the color of your skin. No longer will we be divided by race or religion. We will be united as children of the same Creator. No longer will we sit at a job we hate, dreaming of a better life, but unable to break free of the system that holds us back. Every man, woman, and child will be limited only by their own imagination. Homelessness will end. Hunger will end. Terror will end. But how could this be possible? Right now, the pieces are being put in place to enact a new law. This law is known as NESARA GESARA, and it was slated to be announced on the morning of September 11th, 2001. A date everyone is familiar with, and now you know why. We've been taught our whole lives that if something seems too good to be true, it likely is. But all that's about to change. And now I'll list some topics, some sources for real news that you can check out that will verify some of what I've said, and it'll give you a different angle than just mainstream media, because with mainstream media you're hearing a narrative. You're hearing something that's not necessarily the truth. It may contain truth, but I guarantee you there's a spin on it, and I guarantee you it's meant to keep you asleep to what is actually going on. And there is a lot going on behind the scenes. When all these riots were happening, Hillary Clinton was in appeals court, and her appeal was denied, so she's going to go to court again in September. And the following day, they subpoenaed several members of Obama's White House for questioning. And then Rod Rosenstein also testified on the illegal FISA warrants to spy on our current president. So just remember that whatever you see on the news is largely meant to distract you from things that are actually going on behind the scenes. So if you want some alternative sources, you can check out on YouTube, you can check out X22 Report, Santa Surfing Beach Broadcast, Freedom Force Battalion, True Reporting, or Dan Bongino. All of them are great. And then I'll read off now some things, some research topics that will get you started if you want to dive into some of this. Sure, a lot of people think it's crazy talk. A lot of people think it's conspiracy theory. But I think a lot of people would be surprised to find out how many people in government for the past however many years before Trump's presidency were conspiring against you and I. So, and these are not theories. But some of what you will find if you dig deep is disturbing. It's just a heads up. As you research, it will begin to make more sense when you're able to see how it all ties together. So here are the topics. I'll read them off for you. You can research the link between the Titanic and central banking system, the first and second banks of America, the Federal Reserve and who owned them, Executive Order 6102 by President Roosevelt, central banking system versus gold-backed currency, truth about birth certificates, social security numbers, and your strawman account. That's a big one. Are you the collateral that backs our current money system? Yes, you are. You can research the new King of England and why Queen is on permanent quarantine in Windsor Castle. It is not because of the coronavirus, it's because she's being dethroned. You can look into NESARA GESARA, George Soros, Bill Gates, vaccine damage, Jeffrey Epstein, Epstein Island, flight logs to Epstein Island, Clinton Foundation, Obama's, Obamagate, Pizzagate, Hollywood actors, athletes. Look at famous people who contracted COVID. What's the connection between them and adrenochrome? How is adrenochrome connected to Pizzagate and the Obamas, Clinton, and others? How is Pizzagate connected to Planned Parenthood and DFACS, Department of Family and Children's Services? You can look up DUMBS, D-U-M-B-S. These stand for Deep Underground Military Bases. How are these connected to drug and human trafficking? You can look up the major uptick in earthquakes this year, especially in the Midwest. How is this connected to the deep underground military bases? Are they being bombed? If you would like to forego much of the research and have it presented by someone who has already put it all together and connected the dots for you, look into these videos. They can be found on YouTube, but you may have trouble finding them as some types of videos are often removed as fast as they can be posted. So there is an agenda to suppress truth right now, and a lot of the things that are posted on YouTube that present the truth are taken down pretty quickly. But you can still find these up there. Just search for Fall Cabal, parts 1 through 10, or Fall of the Cabal, parts 1 through 10. You can just Google it and you'll see it. So the same person that made those videos also made some very enlightening videos on COVID-19 and other relevant topics. And you know, the time has come for the world to wake up. The time has come for regular people like me to make videos, even you know, at the expense of what people think about me. I assure you, I do not care what you think about me. I just want to get some truth out there to people and hopefully start the process of waking some people up. Because if people like me remain silent, then, you know, the things that work right now have a much better chance of succeeding. But look, guys, good wins in the end. There's going to be a lot of fear tactics. There's going to be a lot of false flags and things that make you wonder, you know, things that make you think we're headed towards a new world order, but we're not. Um, the current presidency has all of this and so much more that I have no idea about. But they've already got it all. And what's happening right now is it's a slow playing out, a slow awakening of the people that has to happen. Because if all this came out at once, people could not handle it. There's some seriously sick things going on with Pizzagate, with child trafficking. These things are very real. Human trafficking is not something that happened only in the past. It continued. You know, just look into it. Do your due diligence before you comment or come at me with anything. Research it first and prove me wrong, and then come at me with it, because I'm open to it. I'm open to truth, and I'm open to knowing what's actually happening. I'm not open to arguments and, you know, those types of things. So anyway, thanks for watching.